Imagine a tiny ship tossed by relentless waves, battered by fierce storms, and carrying with it not just cargo but dreams, hopes, and fears. Imagine a journey so fraught with danger that each sunrise brought relief and each sunset could bring death. Now imagine that this journey took 66 days. Welcome to the story of the Mayflower. It's me, and you're watching this channel. Join me as we embark on a journey back in time, all the way back to 1620, when a small group of people set sail from England on a ship called the Mayflower. Their destination, an unknown land across the vast Atlantic Ocean. What they found was not just a new world, but a new way of life. The year is 1620, and Europe is in the midst of a period of great exploration and discovery. Nations are vying for power and wealth, and many are looking towards the New World as the key to their success. But for a small group of English separatists, their reasons for wanting to leave England were very different. They were fleeing religious persecution. They were seeking a place where they could worship freely without the fear of punishment hanging over them. Our story begins in England, where a group of around 102 men, women and children, now known as the Pilgrims, had been living in relative peace after initially facing hostility upon their arrival. But their hard-won tolerance was now threatened by a new oppressive ruler. King Charles I had ascended to the throne, and he was not as lenient as his predecessor. Fearful of losing their hard-earned religious freedom, the Pilgrims decided to flee. Word had spread among them about a region in North America that was welcoming of settlers, and so began their desperate bid to escape, a perilous journey across the sea. They turned to a ship named the Mayflower, a vessel that would become synonymous with their struggle and their success. But the Mayflower was no luxurious liner. It was a vessel built for trade, not transatlantic travel. The cramped conditions below deck were ill-suited for long journeys, let alone one that would stretch over 2 months. Yet the Pilgrims had little choice. They were not just carrying themselves, but their hopes for a better future. Each item on board, from the tools that would build their new lives to the very Bible that symbolized their faith, represented not just their present struggle, but their future prosperity. As the Mayflower prepared for its fateful voyage, the Pilgrims knew they were in for a challenge. They had chosen to depart during the autumn, hoping to arrive before winter's harsh grip tightened its hold. Little did they know that the unforgiving sea had other plans. On September 6, 1620, the Mayflower set sail from Plymouth, England. Braving the chilly North Atlantic winds, the journey began, and with it, the battle against the elements. Storms battered the ship, testing its strength and the resolve of those on board. Disease swept through the cramped quarters, weakening the passengers and denting their spirits. Food and water became scarce, stretching their provisions and their patience. As the days turned into weeks, the Mayflower became more than just a ship. It transformed into a microcosm of the new society the Pilgrims were hoping to build. Cooperation and compromise became necessities, as did courage and faith. Each shared meal, each moment of prayer, each act of kindness solidified the bonds between them. They were not just fellow travelers. They were becoming a community. Amidst the chaos of the high seas, a remarkable event unfolded. On November 11, 1620, after a grueling 66-day voyage, the Mayflower finally reached land. It was a moment of jubilation and relief. But their ordeal was far from over. They had arrived at Cape Cod, not the southern destination they had planned for. Harsh weather conditions and navigational errors had dictated their course. Now they faced the prospect of an unfamiliar territory and a winter that was fast approaching. Yet the Pilgrims, much like their ship, were resilient. They set about exploring their surroundings, meeting the Native Americans who had lived there for generations. Through trade and diplomacy, they began to understand their new environment and the challenges that lay ahead. One crucial decision loomed over them: how to govern themselves in this new land. In a remarkable display of unity and foresight, they drafted the Mayflower Compact. This agreement not only established a framework for self-governance, but also laid the foundation for American democracy. It was a testament to their spirit, a beacon of freedom that continues to shine brightly today. And so it was that the Pilgrims, guided by their faith and bound by their experiences, began the arduous task of establishing a settlement. They built homes, they cultivated the land, and they formed alliances with the indigenous communities. Their struggles were immense, but so were their achievements. The Mayflower had not just brought them to a new land, it had delivered them to a new way of life. The legacy of the Mayflower is profound. It symbolizes the courage to dream, the tenacity to persevere, and the unity to build. It is a reminder that even in the face of the most daunting challenges, the human spirit can triumph. The journey of the Pilgrims on the Mayflower was more than just a voyage across the Atlantic. It was a voyage of the human spirit, a testament to the indomitable will of those who dared to dream of a better world. It is a story that continues to inspire, a beacon of hope that shines across the ages. As we reflect on their journey, let us be inspired to embrace our own challenges with courage, to navigate the storms of life with resilience, and to reach out to others with kindness and understanding. Just as the Mayflower carried a community of dreamers, let us carry the values of hope, freedom, and perseverance in our own lives. Let us remember the Mayflower not just as a ship that crossed the ocean, but as a symbol of the human spirit that soared across the boundaries of fear and uncertainty. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my channel. By doing so, you'll not only be supporting this channel, but you'll also be ensuring that the incredible tales of history continue to be shared. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep dreaming. And remember, within each of us is the spirit of the Mayflower, ready to set sail on the journey of life. Subscribe for more.